and Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Joanne. So here we are, Semple Stadium, Thurles, County Tipperary, in the town where the GAA was founded 134 years ago, in the province that has produced some iconic heroes over the decades, like Cork's Christy Ring, Clare's Jimmy Smith, and the man who lived across the road from where we are today, Tipperary's Jimmy Doyle. It's July 1st, 2018, the first Sunday in July. Traditionally, this is Munster hurling final day, and today the honour of parading around this hallowed turf falls for the second year in a row to the hurlers of Cork and Clare, the Rebels against the Banner. It's the climax of an extraordinary provincial championship that moved away from the traditional knockout system that has been used since 1888, and they tried something new. And let's be honest, the Munster hurling championship this summer has been brilliant. But now it's time to crown the kings, to see who really is the best in the southern province. And talk about history. The first Munster final was in 1889, 129 years ago, when Clare got a walkover from Kerry. A year later, Cork won their first Munster championship by beating Kerry 2 goals to a single point. This is the 14th Munster final between Cork and Clare. The history books reveal that Cork have won 10 of those clashes, with Clare only winning twice, 1914, 1932. 86 years ago since Clare beat Cork in a Munster hurling final. Today, 41 years ago, in 1977, the counties met here in Thurles. Clare were league champions, Cork All-Ireland champions. Jim Power got sent off for hitting Ray Cummins. And while Cork went on to beat Clare by 5 points, armed robbers were busy during the second half of that match, stealing £24,579 from the gate receipts downstairs from where we are right now. Ah yes, Cork and Clare clashes create special memories. Can Cork retain the title for the first time since 2005 and 2006? Will Seamus Harnedy lift the cup? Or will it be the man from Tubber, Patrick O'Connor, to bring the cup home for the first time to the Banner County since 1998? Can Clare beat Cork in a Munster final for the first time in 86 years? Brendan Cummins.
Yeah, it is. It's certainly all set up for Clare, you know. I mean, that hunger we always talk about, it's something that you can't really see and you don't train for, but it's just when you wake up the morning on Munster final, Marty, and you're one of those Clare players still in that parade there, you're saying to yourself, well, look, it's about time we put one over on these Cork lads, and certainly they will have to push up on Cork, show the aggression, and that's really the question mark over those Cork players on the pitch as well. Teams push up on you, what have you got? And really, Derek McGrath touching it. His team last year, when they pushed up in the All-Ireland semi-final, beat Cork, and that's the question mark that hangs over Cork unless they can answer it today.
Well, this is more than just a hurling match. This is about history, tradition, passion, pride, and a deep, deep sense of belonging. So no matter where you're watching or listening today, let me welcome you to Thurles. We all have family members or friends living or working abroad, but today hundreds of thousands of people will watch around the world on their TV, iPad or laptop through GAA Go, this wonderful Munster hurling final. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon or good night, from Sydney to New York, from Singapore to Abu Dhabi. Hope you're going to enjoy the Munster hurling final. And just in case you've been away, we're experiencing a heat wave in Ireland these days. We're one of the hottest places, Shannon Airport in County Clare, reaching 32 degrees. As we pause, with temperatures in Thurles at 22 degrees, it's our Ron Avian on Munster hurling final day. This venue was sold out once it became clear it was going to be a Cork-Clare Munster final. We've had wonderful, wonderful weather. Heat conditions, 32 degrees. James McGrath is the match referee. I want to compliment Semple Stadium groundsman. That's Dave Hanley and Pa Burke, because it's been a difficult week for them. They've been using water on the pitch, and it's a little bit patchy in places, but considering the weather, they've done a fantastic job. So well done to the groundsman. So here we go. Westmeath man in charge. Clare, Rebels against the banner, saffron and blue against the red and white. Cork won the toss, decided to play from left to right as we look at it. The hand pass goes astray. It's the first sideline cut of the afternoon.
Straight away, Patrick Horgan has gone to centre forward for Cork. I suppose Clare had their match-ups right from the start, and the Cork management have decided they'll throw a spanner in the works there with Patrick going centre forward and Conor Cleary.
This is Mark Coleman, the second championship season. First player, of course, from Blarney to play senior championship for the Rebels last year. Scored a sideline ball against Waterford. This dribbles along the ground. Shane O'Morey is there, knocked off his hurley, and that's his line ball for Clare. It's going to be taken by Shane O'Morey. Picked up a dead leg. Was a bit of a doubtful starter. Passed a fitness test on Friday evening. Gets the call from Jack Brown from Ballier. Drives it long. Ball hops along the surface. Chasing after this is Sean O'Donoghue from Inniscarra. Being tackled by Shane O'Donnell. Damien Cahalan comes across as far as Bill Cooper, the all-man. Cork had them slither momentarily, then lose. Great pressure by Clare. Here comes Podge Collins, getting by the first challenge. No advantage accruing. Referee blows his whistle and look at Podge Collins. Wow, he's a man on fire.
Yeah, he is. He's all fired up since he got on against Clare. You can see the work rate of Podge. He's really, really direct for a small man, low centre of gravity, Marty. Very, very hard to get a challenge in them. But you can see it there, what it means to him. That's what we talk about, hunger before the game, you know. You can see it there, it's in Podge. But interestingly there, the very minute Cork tried to work it up the pitch, Clare pushed up and straight away and took it off him.
This man has had a wonderful summer so far. A goal and 42 points in 4 championship games. Peter Duggan, club hurling with Clooney Quinn, native of Spancil Hill in the county of Clare. And that's over the bar. The banner up and running.
Yeah, nice start for a free taker too, Marty. Get a settler like that on Munster final day. He's been one of the leading lights now at centre forward, Peter Duggan for Clare.
Anthony Nash goes long, aiming for Luke Meade, and that's going to be a sideline ball direct from the puck out. Shane O'Morey going across there to take the sideline ball again. Takes it quickly. This one goes astray. Didn't quite get the signals correct. Is there. In comes Carl Malone. Galvin is latching onto it, calling over this side, but the pass is going to reach Jamie Shanahan, who's blossoming in the summer heat of 2018. He hits a mighty puck of a ball, and that is gone just to the left and wide. I think the Clare crowd were anticipating that a white flag was going to be raised, but it wasn't.
Yeah, whatever breeze Marty's blown into that goal is blown to the left-hand side of it and just caught it and swept it away to the wide of the post.
Anthony Nash with the puck out again. It's a mighty puck of a ball, putting pressure on the Clare full-back David McInerney. It's knocked off his hurley by centre-half forward Conor Lahan, who's interesting gone to the edge of the square, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Clare.
It is going to be interesting too today, Marty. We've spoken a lot about the hurling balls and how far they're travelling. The core of that hurling ball is very warm today as well, so it's going to be going an awful lot further than you'd normally see it, and you can see it there even in the early stages from Anthony Nash putting the ball well inside the Clare half of the pitch.
Shane O'Morey from 6 Mile Bridge. His dad, Pat Morey, won 2 leagues with Gerlachnan in 77 and 78. They were honoured recently by the Clare County Council. Will they be honouring this particular team if they can win the championship for the first time in 20 years? Long ball over towards John Conlon. Carries a little bit too much pace. And that's a sideline ball for Cork.
Already, Marty, the Clare tactic is both their full forward line, Shane O'Donnell and John Conlon, are staying inside. They're doing a bunch and break out towards the sideline, trying to beat the Cork defenders for pace out.
John Myler, first championship season as manager. Sideline ball will be taken again by Mark Coleman. Only 20 years of age since last December. Keeping it down the wing. Coming across is Conor Cleary. Managed to gather the slipper and lay it back for Shane O'Morey. Good ball into the middle. Peter Duggan unable to reach it. Christopher Joyce gets a touch. Here comes Podge chasing after it, trying to get the ball. The linesman indicates it's a Cork ball. Clare protest, but in vain. Once again, it's Mark Coleman that's going to take this. second-year business student in SHC. Remember last year, sorry Brendan about this, but he was outstanding against Tipperary and we saw him first. That's a great sideline cut. Ball hops down past Shane O'Morey, playing deep. He has plenty of allies to his left, to his right. He goes left instead. Unable to control it the first time, but Cork come forward again. Nice ball for Seamus Harnedy. Harnedy hits a mighty puck. That is a wonderful score by Seamus Harnedy. Captain, leading on the field, leading psychologically.
Yeah, it was that man Daniel Carney again, intercepted the poor pass out from Shane O'Morey, and it's a good settler there for Cork, because the Cork forwards have been behind their men for the first 6 minutes of this game or so.
Donald too, he gets his first puck out. Finds a colleague. Coming across his Podge Collins, and John Conlon taking control on the 45. Doesn't have the legs, doesn't have the distance, it has the accuracy. John Conlon scores. Clare celebrates. Yeah, it's been a big part of Clare's turnaround in their season this year, as Conlon going into the edge of the square. You see him there really strong in possession, and he's a man on fire over the shoulder. Great score. That's the kind of quality ball that the Clare management team wants to be delivered to John Conlon. Poor pass, however, from John Cleary. Comes for as Luke Meade. Oh, that is really good play by Luke Meade. Terrible play by the Clare number 6. Unfortunately, that's a pass and a ball given away. Yes, a second score that Clare backline have coughed up, trying to be too smart in possession. Marty, big man on the edge of the square. They need to go along into John Conlon. Sides level for the second time. Colm Galvin chasing this, but getting there first is going to be Owen Cadigan. Galvin is the one that's putting in the challenge, but he was fouled surely, and the referee agrees. Peter Duggan doesn't. But there seemed to me to be a push on the Cork number 6. Yeah, the initial push there from Colm Galvin, try to get him out over the line. Here's the pass, and a fantastic ball in over the bar. Good score from Cork, but again it came from a mistake from the Clare defence, Marty, and they just need to tighten up a bit inside there. Anthony Nash coming out to take this. He's already won 3 Munster Championship medals. John Myler, native of Wexford, came to college in UCC and has been there more or less ever since. Anthony Nash. That is some puck of a ball, I have to say. To the right and wide. Yeah, that breeze, the flags behind the town goals, and Thurles have blown left to right, so just moved the quick puck out from Clare again now. Donald Toohey to Jack Brown. Passing is a little bit poor from Clare in defence. Peter Duggan had to work hard to get the ball, and standing on the sideline, he whips it long and high and straight between the posts. Great score. Yeah, already Duggan there is getting an influence. He's a man playing really, really well. Good hands by Bill Cooper. Turns around and sends a diagonal ball, and it's a good ball, but it just carries again. The ball hopping off the surface here. After Corrigan couldn't reach it, so it's a sideline ball for Clare. So it's another factor, Marty, we have to take into account as well, but the weather we've had all week, that pitch out there is like concrete, so when it hops off it, it's going to fly away. 24-year-old since March. Shane O'Morey with 3 under-21 All-Ireland medals. Comes to Podge Collins, who was part of that team, trying to get away from the shackles of Sean O'Donoghue. Podge still has the ball. Takes 2, 3 Cork lads to stop him. Working hard is Luke Meade. Comes back to Sean Donoghue. Laying it off as Bill Cooper. Good play by the Rebels. Available if he needs him is Daniel Carney. Hopping it inside. The challenge on Bill Cooper was a bit late, to say the least. And that is swept straight between the posts and over the bar. Good score, Daniel Carney. Yeah, it all came from super defender Sean O'Donoghue. But this is what Cork want to do. They want to play the ball up along the pitch. Shanahan will be in trouble there for that late tackle on Bill Cooper. It's a yellow card. But the defending initially from Sean O'Donoghue was fantastic on Podge. Podge looked like he got inside him, but great defending, got around again. Short puck out again for Jamie Shanahan, who's just been shown a yellow card by the referee. Dropping it down, knocked away on this occasion. Coming forward is Darragh Fitzgibbon. It takes 2 Clare lads to try and gather it. Still working hard is Tony Kelly. Still not getting a clear spell to the slithery yet so far in this match. Picked up by Cathal Malone. Malone sends it in, and that is going just tailing to the left and wide. Yeah, you need to be shooting those one into that Holy Cross end to the right-hand post there, so the breeze doesn't have an effect on it. But again, Clare are following their men all over the pitch. That's what Anthony Nash is looking out at, finding hard to find space out there. Jerry O'Connor native of Killanena, or Killanena as they say. That's a great catch. That's good play by Jack Brown. Out for Shane Amori. Now this guy has an engine. He steps out over the line, however, and it's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Good pressure by the Rebels, knowing only too well that Shane Amori loves to put the sliotar on the hurley and take off.
He does, yeah, and you see Jack Brown there, some catches, left hand, and good distribution. Shane Amori just caught by Harndy on the way out. You're not going to get a second to breathe out there, Marty, in Munster hurling.
Dara Fitzgibbon from Charleville in North Cork taking this sideline ball. Coming back together is David McInerney, the Rock of Clare, son of Jim, 95 team. Out for his Jamie Shanahan, goes long, up towards John Conlon. Trouble here for Cork. Conlon going, bearing down on goal, takes a shot, knocked away by Anthony Nash as it gone out over the end line. The Clare forwards were saying it was a 65. The umpire said no, they saw it, they were very close, and Cork come away with it. Diagonal ball again. Shane Amori anticipating he was coming over this side. Good hands, well it was good hands initially, but David McInerney nipping in is Dara Fitzgibbon. This guy is class. Away he goes, heading towards the 20. Make that the 13. Available to his left is Conor Lahan, but Clare were backtracking and they did well. Conor Lahan was available and the pass should have come a little bit faster, but Dara Fitzgibbon is special. Down for is John Conlon, and this match has stepped from first to third to fourth gear. Conlon is on fire. The match is on fire. Clare go back in front.
The new one is David McInerney was the man who got back. You see Conlon's strength here, you know, just again off of that left. Everything he's hit turns the goal, but the defender from McInerney on the other ring to dispossess the Cork attacker was fantastic. Never panicked.
Anthony Nash, school teacher in Mitchelstown CBS in North Cork, with the puck out, sideline ball, indicating it's going to go Clare's way.
At the moment, Marty, Cork are struggling to get a foothold in their own half-forward line. They can't get through it there to get quality ball inside to the shooters. So Clare are doing really well now to nullify that puck out, even in the early stages.
And I know there's only 12 minutes gone, but it would appear that Peter Duggan and John Conlon, this man, is causing problems. He's turning again. This time he shoots and he scores again. 3 touches of the ball, 3 points. Trouble for Cork at full-back. Wonderful play by John Conlon.
Yeah, Jamie Cahalan, just as that one floated over the bar, caught the hurley and mimicked that he would get over his knee. He'd want to do something inside there with Conlon. Cork are struggling. Supply going in front of Conlon's really good.
Conor Spillane, another one of the school teachers on this team. He teaches in St. Coleman's in Fermoy. Down for is Shane Kingston, son of last year's manager. This fella is good as well. Hopping inside, nice skill by Kingston. Still going strong, brought down to the ground by Jack Brown. That's a free in. But Shane Kingston, what an engine. He literally put his foot on the accelerator and Clare were in trouble.
Yeah, well, that's what will give John Myler hope when that ball goes in front of that Cork forward line. You know, they are breaching it, like beating the offside trap. He was in again there, but had to be hauled down. The hand over the shoulder is definitely a free in, but it's just a little warning shot again, while Clare are doing really well. But when that ball goes into that Cork forward line, Marty, they've got taste of burning there.
And to be honest, Brendan, Patrick Horgan hasn't got much. I know he's going to take this free. Likewise, Clare, Tony Kelly hasn't touched much of the ball so far. I know it's early stages, but certainly the forwards look to have serious, they're going to ask serious questions of both defences as Patrick Horgan taps that over the bar.
I don't think it really suited Patrick Horgan either, Marty, to start out at centre forward. I think it threw him a small bit. It's not really his place. He's not that big a ball winner to play through. He's inside in his natural corner forward position now.
Short puck out strategy. Donald Toohey, far as Jack Brown, his 3rd championship season. Owen Cadigan challenged, seemed to be fouled, but Todd Collins is there trying to shovel it out of the way. It's on the 45-metre line. Peter Duggan has it, gets a pass, heard the call from Colin Galvin. Galvin is there, sideline ball is going to Cork. .5 minutes gone. Sides have been level on 3 occasions and just 1 point between the teams.
That'll be the heartening thing, I think, for Cork, really looking at that. The first 15 minutes, they looked like they haven't really been in it, but still only a point behind.
Sideline cut is a good one. Jack Brown again goes up for it, tries to get a flick before he goes over the sideline. Linesman again has his flag up, indicating it's going to be a Cork ball. Daniel Carney from Sarsfield's good player, rediscovering his form. Backfires Dara Fitzgibbon. Little 1-2. Sends it across field. Nice pickup. Patrick Horgan. Lovely turn. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. What about that for sheer, utter class?
You see him here, Marty. He turned the face of the hurley out towards the stand as he picks it up, flicks it man in confidence, and then floated it on that breeze towards the left post. He's a corner forward all day long, Marty, and that's the kind of damage he'll do in there.
But your point is well made, Brendan, a moment ago. Like, he's better inside there. He's going to cause problems for Clare rather than on the 40.
Yeah, but I think at the very start, Cork management wanted to throw a little bit of spanner in front of Clare because they'd had their matchups, and experiment over, he's back to his normal position.
4 times they've been level. Thankfully, we've only 16 minutes played. Most enjoyable Munster hurling final so far. Cleared by Christy Joyce. Patrick O'Connor. Hand passes it away. Goes for distance. It's one man up here for Clare. Calling for it is the Piershicks, Christopher Joyce. Into the centre. Far is Mark Coleman. Cork beginning to assert their authority. Bill Cooper goes for distance and hops over the end line. It's kind of a waste of possession, but you just felt that Cork were playing with a little bit more fluidity there. Donald Tuohy's puck out is a quick one for Shane O'Morey. Quick pass again. Paris Tony Kelly gets his first touch, being chased by Mark Coleman. Kelly, Coleman heading towards the D, hand pass inside, nice ball. David Reedy, what a goal! Brilliant! Listen to the batter roar, a defence-splitting move by Tony Kelly, his very first touch, creating a chance for the aerobe man from the town of Ennis. What a cracking goal.
Yeah, there's goals in that Cork defence, and Marty and Clare have been threatening to do this all year. That final pass in every game the Munster Championship so far has been wrong, with the right man, Tony Kelly, really, hurley held really short, gave Nash the eyes and flashed it past him. Fantastic goal.
No chance to Anthony Nash. Up goes the big man from West Clare, giving it plenty of air. That's Patrick O'Connor, actually from North Clare, from Dublin. Down far is John Conlon. John pulls the brakes. Now teaching in Shannon, dropping it in. Does it have the accuracy? Oh my word! Conlon! Fire! 32 degrees during the week. I don't know what temperature he is at the moment, but you have to say he is absolutely magical.
He's roasting Cahalan, that's all I know down there, Marty, and Conlon is shooting. Anytime he shoots, it's going to go over the bar. The way he's playing, it's fantastic now, the way Clare have Cork on the rack, and still Conor Lehane is inside the D, and Clare playing corner forward. I can't believe he's not further out the pitch, Marty.
Puck out straight for Daniel Carney. Daniel trying to seek and find Conor Lehane, and Clare getting a bit of a confidence boost now, just at the time when you felt Cork were gaining the momentum. Good work here by Seamus Harnedy. Harnedy is taken down. The referee has blown his whistle, and it is a free in for Cork.
Yeah, I think the scoreboard now, you can see there Harnedy taking on the players. There's a high tackle just around the head of McInerney. In fairness to him, he dipped his head into him, but the scoreboard now at 9-5 is more reflecting the efforts of Clare and the struggles Cork have had. And I mentioned a second ago there, Conor Lehane hasn't got a hand on the ball yet. He's inside corner forward, full forward. He's now hanging around the centre forward spot. If Cork are to get back into this game, they need experienced heads around the middle third of the pitch, and I'm surprised Lehane is out again.
David McInerney picked up a yellow card for that challenge on Seamus Harnedy, donning the helmet again. Free for Cork. Just outside the 20-metre line, here he comes. Patrick Horgan, white flag raised. It's his third point of the game. Cork pushing up on the Clare defence, which means that Donald Tuohy has to go on this occasion for distance. Out of Clare's 1 goal and 6 points. 1-5 from play, as that is a free. Referee James McGrath giving blowing his whistle.
And if he books McInerney up the other end, he's going to have to do the same to Bill Cooper here. It's just a high tackle. Very hard on David Reedy when he dips down like that to head for goal. Bill Cooper looks a bit bemused there, but either way, again, the Clare forward was on the break, Marty, and that's the important thing from the Clare management on the sideline, their point of view. They're sharper on those breaks.
Peter Duggan. 19 points in the league quarter-final against Limerick. The match that went on and on and on. And in this particular game, he scored 3 points in the Munster final. Between himself and John Conlon, 7 points they've scored. David Reedy has scored the goal. They're the only 3 forwards that have scored so far. Now here comes Conor Lehane. He's left Conor Cleary for dead. Still Conor Lehane. Oh, good work by Conor Cleary. Good hook. Lehane keeps at it. Clear defensive there. Colin Galvin arrives on the late bus. Still Conor Lehane. Great block down. That's good defending. Up goes Colin Galvin and away he comes with it. Great defending by the Banner. Great block down by full forward Shane Kingston. Comes back to Galvin and lets it fly down the middle. Good hands by David Reedy. He's small in stature, 5'3", bit like myself, but big heart. Turns around and gives it plenty of air up towards Shane O'Donnell. Shane O'Donnell won't reach that because that's a hit a little bit too strong, and that is a puck out for Cork.
Well, that's what Conor Lehane does when he's centre forward, Marty. He gets on ball, there's grass inside end, and he can run into.
And that ball is going to the right and wide. Just in terms of tally of wides, Cork have shot 3 wides, Clare have shot 3 wides. The teams have been level on 4 occasions.
And Anthony Nash there, Marty, you could see it. He's trying to hit the puck outs faster. He knows that Clare are going 1-to-1 outside on his own half-forward line, so he has to be faster to get it to him.
Just in terms of that statistic, again, out of 1-7 that Clare have scored, 1-5 from Clay, just 2 frees from Peter Duggan. Clare battling hard, picked up here by Podge Collins. Podge has discovered the form of 2013. John Conlon, every ball is a beauty ball for John Conlon, and he's all sorts of trouble created for the Rebels. Now it's Conor Spillane that can't seem to deal with it. Every time he's touched the ball 4 times, he's scored 4 points. This time it's his 5th, and he creates trouble.
He does, you know, and Conor Spillane, it's a real conundrum down there for Myler. He's got his hands in his hips looking in. He's now got the match up with Damien Cahalane marking Shane O'Donnell, which is Clare's fastest player. Nightmare for him in there, so I think Cahalane is probably going to have to come out of the argument, and Spillane is going to struggle with the strength of Conlon and the form that he's shown. Net result is Peter Duggan puts another ball over the bar.
Peter Duggan with his 4th point of the match, and Clare lead by 5, 1-8 to 6 points. Anthony Nash looks at see who's available. No short puck outs like last year as Clare push up on every opportunity. Good hands by Seamus Harnedy. Referee blows the whistle. Patrick O'Connor says it was an accident. Referee is not going near the Clare captain.
Yeah, it's just I take it Patrick O'Connor comes in to try to flick the ball to Harnedy and just catch him around the neck there. You see him coming in, he just tries to give the flick and catch him on the high with the hurley. I don't think he had any intent, in fairness to him, to do damage. But again, the run from Harnedy was much more like how we'd have seen before from Cork, and in fairness to Nash, he spotted him. Harnedy started on the edge of the D and cut out towards the sideline, and Nash has always put it on the sixpence for him, but it's been hard to get ball into that area. Clare done really well there, Martin.
Yellow card for the Clare centre-back, Conor Cleary. 3 Clare defenders are now on yellows. David McInerney, full-back. Conor Cleary, centre-back. Jamie Shanahan, left half-back. That also must be concern to Jerry O'Connor.
It is, and as the game goes on and the heat is down on that pitch, Marty, players are going to get a little bit tired, and that's when you know that lapse of concentration, that little flick of the hurley could cost you.
Patrick Horgan would do this all day and all night for you. Not a problem. Tapped over the bar. Coming into this match with a goal and 31 points, 19 of those scores coming from frees. But his point in the first half, gosh, I thought was brilliant. That was from play, by the way, in case you've just joined us. Off the fingertips of Christopher Joyce. Just lost concentration momentarily. Sideline ball for Clare. Front of the Cork dugout. Tony Kelly. 24 years of age. Hurler of the year 5 years ago. Goal scorer, David Reedy. Nice stick work, beautiful. Look at that for control. He needs to finish now. Lays it back. Ball is thrown. But the stick work was really good, I have to say. Just the final pass seemed to be a throw.
It was. The initial cuteness to leave the ball slide by him and Mark Coleman and get into space was good, but the Cork scrambling defence has gotten a little bit better. The problems Cork are having is when it's put directly in. You can see the Cork defenders coming back And Carney working as always back in his own defence, always willing to help out.
Anthony Nash again gives it absolutely everything. Breaking ball, always dangerous when you've Cork forwards around sniffing. Patrick O'Connor is there, Seamus Harnedy is there, Kingston is there, still Clare backs David McInerney. Jack Brown tries to go down it, Tony Kelly is back there helping out his defence. Ball is still there, and eventually the referee blows the whistle for Jack Brown lying on the ball, I would suggest.
Yeah, that's it. Anytime as a defender the ball gets trapped in your knees like that, you're going to be trouble. And in fairness to James McGrath, it was well spotted.
And to be fair to the referee, he also gave them time to let the ball go. It's a simple enough free to be conceded, and particularly when you have an ace marksman from Glen Rovers standing over the ball. Another white flag, his 5th point of the game. Patrick Horgan. Donald Toohey, under-21 All-Ireland medalist back in 2009. Fitzgibbon Cup, as so many of these players have Fitzgibbon Cups with their various universities. Donald won it with NUIG 8 years ago. Peter Duggan almost had it. Darragh Fitzgibbon does. Steps away, being pursued by Malone. Out over the end line, or over the sideline, I should say. Line ball.
Yeah, first Darragh Fitzgibbon did really well there. I think you knew he was running down the cul-de-sac and just popped the ball up, allowed the player Malone just to flick the ball away.
Mark Coleman going to have a goal from this position between the 20 and the 45. Gives you the angle. Well capable of putting this between the posts. It's across the face of the goal and wide. John Myler, his son, of course, David, plays with the Republic of Ireland soccer team, was captain in the past. Sporting family. Over for Shayna Morey. Shayna goes for John Conlon. Coming across is Sean O'Donoghue. Comes first Podge Collins. Right, here comes Podge. Oh, great hook by Owen Cadigan. But the referee had blown his whistle. He spotted an infringement. But every time the Clare full forward line, particularly Podge, particularly Conlon, Cork seem to be a little bit concerned, to say the least.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like there's a bucket of goals inside there. In fairness to Clare, it's a fantastic hook from Cadigan getting back there, you know, to stop Podge. But the Clare inside forwards are getting great heart from the fact that anything comes in shoulder or waist high, they're winning and they're turning their men. So the Cork management are all sitting together having a chat. I think they may have to look over their shoulder to make some kind of a change inside there.
Peter Duggan, meanwhile, puts that over the bar. Simple tap over for him, his 5th of the match. Colm Spillane makes himself available in front of the Cork goalkeeper, but again, Ken Turkman goes for distance, runs on. Jack Brown trying to deal with this ahead of Kieran Kingston. Good work by Jack Brown. Farrell's Jamie Shanahan. Ballier and 6 Mile Bridge. Combination. Who got the last touch? Umpire says wide ball. John Conlon disagrees. The umpire says it's wide. Let's look at it here.
Now came off the Cork. Cahalan. The way Conlon's playing, I know if he got his hand in it, he would have caught it.
Conor Cleary. Going long. John Conlon coming out. Running on. First Shane O'Donnell. Peter Duggan is there. Line ball is going to Cork. The Clare fans at the far side totally disagree. And that's going to be a sideline ball for the Rebels.
I think they were angry with the nudge on Shane O'Donnell as he was going for the ball there. He was being marked really, really tightly, but just got in his hands. I'll tell you how good Shane O'Donnell is, you know, but he was just reaching for it. Callahan gave him that little nudge that got him onto the ground.
Once again, it's Mark Coleman. Driving it into the middle. Paul Malone sending it back. Anthony Nash to escort it out over the end line. 5 wides for Clare in this opening half, but they have scored a goal in 9. Christopher Joyce is the chosen one, but did he keep it in? Just about. Nice skill by the Napiershig man. Patrick Horgan coming out to gather it. Kieran Kingston available. Patrick Horgan turns again onto the left. That is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's a magnificent score, but it just goes to show if Cork could only win one in every 3 or 4 puckouts even on their own half-forward line, it'd be great, because once they get it inside to those guys there, just that man in your shot there, Patrick Horgan, just fantastic hurling.
It's the beauty of the turn. I mean, it's just, and it's almost unstoppable. Mark Coleman. Daniel Carney lost the hurling. Gives it for his own Cadigan. Sean O'Donoghue from Inniscarra coming forward. Won a Munster under-21 football medal. He was captain actually against Kerry 2 years ago. Great hook on this occasion. Still Spillane manages to show his football ability. Conor Cleary, who's also a fine footballer, giving it long. His twin brother Owen, of course, is on the Clare football team. David Reedy hits it from in front of the sideline. Is that on its way? They'll celebrate that in Thurles. They'll celebrate it down in the town of Ennis. Okay. Great score.
Yeah, Conor was behind his man, but again his physical presence meant that he was able to get a break off to David Reedy, off the back foot, facing into the new stand and Thurles over the bar. Amazing score.
Straight down the middle. Patrick O'Connor seemed to be knocked as he was trying to gather it. Frontal charge. Free, says the referee. Seamus Harnedy disagrees, but the decision is made.
Yeah, every time on those longer puck outs and Nash goes long, you can see the full back line of Clare out in front of their men, so when it hops behind the half forward line, there's a Clare man following up for it. Patrick O'Connor won the free.
Donald Toohey going to take this. From Pusheen in the county of Clare. County, the club that has produced Mick Baroni and Cian Dillon and company. This is dangerous ball. Oh, beautiful connection. Straight to the back of the net, and Anthony Nash is left stranded.
One of the red helmets, Marty, inside. There's that man, Peter Duggan. I mean, he followed the flight of it.
Let's just watch this again, Brendan. Was it Peter Duggan? Was it John Conlon?
Peter Duggan, I think, is the man.
Number 10. Scores the goal. And the Clare fans let their feelings known. Long ball, Anthony Nash comes out to gather. Even when he comes out, the Clare lads chase after everything. Todd Collins was going in to put in the challenge. Daniel Carney sends it wide, too wide in fact. And those diagonal balls just a little bit off cue. Sideline ball quickly taken. McInerney to Cleary. Who got the last touch? Linesman indicates that it is. Which way is he indicating? I'm not too sure.
Okay, first he said it was a Clare ball. Marty will change his mind there now.
By the time he got to the Cork dugout, I think he'd been persuaded in the other direction.
Yeah, but the Cork have to play so precise, Marty, in order to get the ball in, whereas Clare can just flog it long in top of Conlon. You have Collins inside there, you have Shane O'Donnell all working really hard. The other side of the field, Cork have to have a pinpoint in order to get it into the hand of an inside player.
Mark Coleman kept busy, knocked away on this occasion, picked up by Colin Galvin, looking around to see if Shane O'Morey was available. Sides to go long, straight down the middle. Trouble again for Cork. That man, it's yet another touch. Oh, he's just on fire. John Conlon, 5th point of the game. I think he's touched it 6 times, and Cork can't cope with the man from Clonlara.
No, they can't, and the supply was the problem there. Is at 1 minute of additional time, Clare allowed to look up, put it in front of Conlon, flash it over the ball, finger into the air to say I'm the man today. Little belt on Christopher Joyce as well to say there's a new sheriff in town in the forwards. And Clare on fire in that inside line.
Anthony Nash again goes down the middle way. Well gathered, superbly gathered by Seamus Harnedy. Knows only too well that Cork need a goal. Here's Luke Meade. Cork are back in the game. Luke Meade, smashing goal. An absolute beauty. Harnedy created it. Meade finished it to the back of the Clare net.
And that's the difference. A ball winner standing on the opposition 45 like that, Harnedy, it allows you to play, and he gave the ball into Meade. A fantastic pass inside, looks up and flashed it past Toohey on the way out. A fantastic finish. The goalie made himself as big as he could, but in fairness, a good cool finish from Meade. But again, Harnedy was the man who won that ball to set it up.
Luke Meade with his first goal of the Munster Championship 2018. Sending it along the surface towards Kieran Kingston. Jack Brown with him, still Kieran Kingston. He's a strong lad, he's 20 years of age. Looks around to see who's available. He hasn't got much support, I have to say. Ball inside is not a great one. Shane Murray arrived. Over for his Patrick O'Connor. Coolness personified. Tubber to Milton Malbay. Along the surface, a little bit too cheeky. Out over the sideline. Perhaps a long ball out of defence when you're under pressure might have been the better option.
Yeah, it would have been, but the Cork half-forwards have all slipped back, so I think Clare are playing a bit more awareness today. They knew that a lot of their forwards were sucked back down the pitch. They had to play the high-risk game to try to get it out. But if ever John Myler needed one of his players to show leadership and win a puck out, and Harnedy to do it, it was vital he did it at the time he did, because Clare looked like they were running away.
Great atmosphere here in Thurles. Carnival feeling around Semple Stadium, and look at that. No wonder when you see skill, talent, balance. Absolutely fantastic score, Mark Goldman.
Yeah, it's a fantastic score under the pressure there and all that he's under, with his team not having major momentum. He scored 1-1 now since the goal, Marty. Is some reply from the defending Munster champions.
It's actually a great response when you consider that Peter Duggan got that goal from Donald Toohey's free, and it's 1-1 in response. When you just think Clare got the momentum, and the packed attendants are actually standing up around the ground here in Semple Stadium. They're applauding the hurlers of Cork and Clare. In this particular match, they've been level 4 times. Peter Duggan has scored 1-5. John Conlon 5 points. David Reedy 1-1. Luke Meade a goal and a point. And it's been a most entertaining first half. More to come in this Munster hurling final 2018. Can Clare beat Cork for the first time in 86 years? Half-time score, Clare 2-11, Cork 1-10. Analysis right after the break.
A knock on the door, a ring of the bell. It's more likely than ever that it's a TV license inspector, because our inspectors are now making an additional 25% calls to unlicensed homes and businesses. That's an average of 8,000 visits every single week. And because our inspectors use a database of unlicensed premises, when they visit you, they already know, which can mean prosecution and a fine of up to €1,000. So, do the smart thing and pay your TV license on time at tvlicense.ie or at any post office. Brought to you by the Department of Communications, Climate Action and Environment.
We work hard to make life better. AXA Home Insurance offers a dedicated 24/7 emergency and claims helpline. Care for what matters. Call us or go online today.
It takes a nation to make a national sport. Hurling is what we are.
We are supporters.
We are the future.
We are players.
We are kitmen.
We are stewards.
We are Centra.
We are hurling.
stay with me. My love, I hope you'll always be. I will follow you and follow me.
I am not dressing up as a little green spaceman to demonstrate how ServeU Connect is the future of free TV.
Tony, it's in your contract.
I have my limits, okay? Contract, yeah. Little green spaceman. Cool. With ServeU Connect, there's no monthly bills, no contract, so you won't get stuck looking like an idiot.
ServeU Connect, the future of free TV.
There's a new way to drive. Filled with simply amazing innovation. A car that's 100% electric. The new Nissan Leaf, 0 left to prove. An electric car with a range of 378 kilometers. 0 left to prove.
Clever humans save by going straight to Energia for Ireland's cheapest dual-fuel bundle. Fair play to them. Unlike this idiot here, who decided to save a few bob and discount teeth whitening. Lord, be a clever human.
Switch to energia.ie.
Centra. We are hurling.
Clare have been on fire in Thurles, but if the 2018 Munster Hurling Championship has taught us anything, it's that no half-time lead is safe. And despite being well on top for most of that opening half, Clare only leading Cork by 2-11 to 1-10 at half-time. Liam Sheedy and Derek McGraw watching that one. What has been different about Clare this year, Liam?
Well, I just think in this match particularly, they've just come to Thurles meaning business, and I think they set their stall out from the word go. As soon as Podge Collins won the first free, he just gave a big fist pump and said, "Here we go. You know, we really, really mean business." And you know, I think they've led on from that and they've pushed on, and you can see it here. You know, when the ball comes in, look, watch Peter Duggan. You know, just one touch, he knocks it off his man and straight over the bar. And I mean, I thought, again, he gave a fist pump to the crowd. They just really come to Thurles here. And this epitomised this backline here. Conor Cleary, he's lost his 30. Watch this. He puts his hand in, like, talk about putting your body on the line. That just really shows, I suppose, what it means to the Banner lads here today. They've brought a massive crowd here to Thurles. You can hear them roaring. And watch the way they swarm around Conor Lehan here. You know, like, Conor is massively talented, but he doesn't like to be in a place where there's a huge amount of bodies. And Colm Galvin eventually wins the ball, picks out David Reedy and sets up another attack. And here we see a massive change as well in terms of the puck-out strategy. You know, Donald Toohey finding Shane Amori, up to Tony Kelly. Here we have definitely two of the fastest men in Ireland when it comes to hurling pitches, running. And Alan Cadigan is caught wrong, or Owen Cadigan is caught wrong side. David Reedy's inside, and he smacks a great ball into the back of the net. And at this stage, Clare were really starting to fly, you felt. And the final piece then, long ball in, and something we see very little of now, Joanne, in the modern game, the overhead strike. Peter Duggan meets it as crispy as you like into the back of the net. They're 2-11, and they've got some wonderful scores in that first half. They're certainly a different team than they were last year.
There have been some great scores from lots of different players, but one man looks almost untouchable out there.
Yeah, he's unmarkable, John Conlon. You know, he's been afforded a huge amount of space now. Podge is creating a huge amount of space, but coming about 40 or 50 yards from the goal. But a couple of things. A, his menace, but the naivety of the Cork backs in terms of the space they're affording him. He's been given the run of the field. It's almost like a rerun of the 2013 All-Ireland final replay. Not to take from John Conlon, like the strength there in terms of he's having the year of his life and he's following that. Sometimes when you go in, there's an example, Podge, the ball that he plays in the Podge. Look at the gathering there. Fella obviously high on confidence in terms of how he's playing, and he's unmarkable at the moment. And Colm Spillane is over him, on him at the moment. They've taken Damien Callahan off him, and as I said, a couple of things are contributing to it though. Mark Coleman has gone surprisingly centre back at the start of the game, Owen Cadigan to left half back, and Chris Joyce to right half back. And for me, as I said, you could replay Pat Donlan's run for Shane O'Donnell's goal in the 2013 final It's the exact same thing that's happened. The Cork defence have been absolutely porous. If you look at ourselves last year, only 5 men. Austin went straight down the heart of the defence. So, and yet.
Do they need to drop someone in, though?
Well, not drop someone in. I think they're not getting the numbers that they normally get out into the middle of the field as such. You know, they're not stopping at source as such. And I think there has to be. It's about defensive structure as much as anything else. You know, I know people don't like to hear the name, but Coleman is playing centre back for the first time. I've seen him playing senior. He's played around 21, all right. But first time I've played him centre back, I've seen him play centre back. Joyce has played centre back up to this, with Ellis playing a right half back. So it's a different structure, albeit. They were 8 points down with 3 minutes to go, and they nip it back to 4 or 5 straight away. And typical Cork, we were 4 points up against them here 2 weeks ago. So they're still in it, you know.
And it wasn't exactly a surprise when Luke Meade popped up with that goal, because there had been times when Cork looked like they could cause mayhem in that full-back line.
Yeah, you see, when they do get their hands on the ball, they're an exceptionally talented team. You see here with Seamus Hannity, I mean, that's what they're having to do today, because they're made to work for to win their primary possession. But when they get primary possession, there's bodies working off the shoulder, out here to Luke Meade. And as Derek said, you know, at 2-11 to 9 points, you felt, oh God, you know, they're going to start to walk away here. And it was a vital period just before half-time. All of a sudden they get 1-1. Now it's back to 4 points. And it's just in the melting pot a little bit again, because the one thing about this Cork team, they don't go away.
No, that is for sure. That's been the story with many teams in this Munster Hurling Championship so far this year. We have seen some absolutely sensational hurling today. It is Clare on top, but only by 4 points. The second half coming up.
Ireland, proud sponsor of the GAA Hurling Championship.
1,000 faces staring at me.
The 2018 FIFA World Cup Round of 16, Tuesday on RTE2.
This is Cormac.
Hi.
And this is his fiancée, Katya.
Hi.
And when they come together, they do this.
Push her.
Oh, looks dangerous.
I love it.
So what makes you two such a good team?
Trust.
Have you ever crashed?
Crashed once, rolled 4 times.
We lost 3 wins.
It gets better when you bring great together, like Air's super fast broadband plus powerful 4G mobile. Sign up today and get free Air Sport and BT Sport and a free Samsung smartphone, all for just €40 a month for the first 12 months.
Keep tidy now.
Air. Let's make possible.
We were invited to take part in the Aldi Swap and Save Challenge.
Aldi's been a revelation, really.
We were delighted with the quality of the food.
Over the last 4 weeks, we've saved €373.
It's been great to be able to put some money aside towards a nice holiday. Hey, look, we're doing all right. We even have a speedboat.
Swap to Aldi and see what you could save.
When guys shave, this is what they do to try to get every hair. This is what we do. Shaving rebuilds with Gillette FlexBall technology. Moves like no other razor. It responds to the contours of your face. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Technology is worthless if it doesn't give you an edge. The Nissan Qashqai, the best-selling crossover of all time. Check out the new Nissan Car Combo offer. 2 great cars, 1 incredible price.
You thought you'd found the best electricity deal, but you hadn't. Because our price check proves that only Electric Ireland customers get the best value year after year. Saying we'll save you money is smart. Proving it is smarter. Switch today. Electric Ireland. That's smarter living.
The Harry Corrie 50-year anniversary sale is now on, with great offers in store and online at harrycorrie.com. Harry Corrie, the curtain and bedding specialist.
This summer, discover the different sides to your ethnic origins with Ancestry DNA. Order your test now at ancestry.ie.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy to
Travel to Britain from just €89 one way for a car and driver. Irish Ferries. Travel together.
A collision involving 2 cars near Portarlington and County Leash.
The day our lives was shattered.
Worst day of my life.
To see their mother in the car, her legs crushed with the engine, 2 kids, one fighting for his life, it's horrific.
Kill, what you doing?
I hope that I will never experience lifting a little boy's body into his grieving mother's arms ever again.
My body was completely broken, but I didn't realise I would never see him again. The other driver was drunk.
Welcome back. Tipperary are the Munster minor hurling champions after beating Limerick 120 to 112 in the final a little bit earlier on today. It is Clare leading Cork by 4 points at half-time in the senior match. Derek McGrath, do you see Cork making any changes to the way they are set up to try to counteract what Clare have done in the first half?
Well, we spend a lot of time focusing on what they normally do, if you like, in terms of the depth Daniel Carney gives. But they've just been a little bit, the intensity levels have just dropped. I think they'll be just looking more so simplifying it down to work ethic. They haven't been as intense in their approach as they normally are. I think that's what they'll be looking to do at half-time. They'll be kind of looking for more bodies around where the ball is. And similarly, that allows then the Mark Coleman. They might look at perhaps putting Chris Joyce centre-back in terms of just a more solid presence. Coleman is more of a hurler. You like to see him on the ball as much as possible. So, do you know, I think he's getting caught in 2 minds there. So I think looking for just the intensity levels to be raised. Really, that's what Cork will be looking at, you know.
We teed up Anthony Nash's influence, but Donald too, he has dictated so much of this game from the Clare goal.
Well, he has, because I think he's sort of caught him unawares, you know, because, Cork were probably expecting him to go more conventional, and they haven't. Anytime he spotted a move, even if it's only 20 yards out, they're looking to work the ball out. You know, a few times they got caught earlier on. Myself and Derek were critical here because they were overpassing it, because actually the danger for Clare is inside in the full forward line. So it is about that one pass and moving that ball quick. But their whole strategy in terms of how they've approached the first half, I think, has really worked for them.
I'm sure you've been in the situation where your team has been well on top at the break and yet don't have the big lead that you expected at half-time. How do you get your players right and make sure that they just concentrate on the proper things?
Yeah, no different than 2 weeks ago. We had a 4-point lead against Cork. I think a lot of people would tend to will keep it going as it is. I think you may even have to raise the tone of it, not happy initially with what we're doing and try and get under the lads in that manner, if you like. So I think, look, you'd expect Cork. You have to allow also for the fact that Cork may come back into it or maybe Clare to raise it again then. So you have to kind of give different scenarios that might arise in the second half. And I think, listen, these players they're process driven now anyway, so they're probably they're hydrating, they're getting everything on board, and they have all the messages right, and they're just going out to play the second half. And for me, if Clare can continue to play in the manner they are, if they continue to open the space they have, it's their game to lose at this stage, you know.
And yet, at one point, Patrick Horgan hit over a point, and you just said, Liam, that is scary good.
Well, you see, that's the one thing that Cork have going for them, Joanne, is that inside, if the likes of Patrick Horgan gets a chance, they do it like, Shane Kingston, Conor Lehan, they did threaten this goals once or twice. It wouldn't be surprised to see Clare or Cork raise another green flag, and if they do, they're right back in the game. But overall, you would have to say Clare will be much happier at half-time. Their full value for the 4-point lead, they could actually be 6 or 7, and I think that would have made a huge difference.
We see these old Cork mind games happening again, because the Clare players have been out in the pitch a couple of minutes now on this lovely hot day. No sign of Cork just yet. Does that get under players' skin?
I don't think so. I think psychologically, that day is gone where you have it influences either referee or the players, etc. I know we just put a time clock on it ourselves, the 15 minutes that you're supposed to be in there. So I don't think so. I think invariably people point to those things afterwards. We were left on the field for a while, but I think the guys will just go out, play the games. I just can't get over the naivety of the Cork defence. We pointed 2013 All-Ireland final and the replay. Cork effectively followed their men all over the pitch. And if you had a timeline on or a heat map on Podge today, Sean O'Donoghue was following everywhere, and there's absolutely no cover whatsoever then in front of John Conlon and Shane O'Donnell.
So does he leave him go out up until a point?
Well, I think so. And normally what would happen is he would be met by Luke Meade, he would be met by Daniel Carney, he would be met by the pack mentality, to simplify it, as the lad said in Croke Park earlier on. He'd be met by someone. I think that's what Cork will look to do. There you have forwards meeting forwards in the middle of the field, and whoever gets it in does the damage. And I think that's what Cork will be looking to do in the second half.
I think the biggest problem, the one thing that really impressed me in Cork in the first round of the championship against Clare was the fact that the work rate of their whole team all over the pitch. When Clare broke onto the ball, they just chased them down. They haven't brought that level of intensity to Thurles today. Now, as I said, they're gone unbeaten in 7 matches. This is probably one of their greatest tests, because they haven't. It's not that they're 4 points behind. It's the fact that they're not playing to the level that we've from this team. And to me, their work ethic and everything about their game is going to have to find the level they haven't found in that first half.
Yeah, and it's a different challenge for Clare now. 4 points up, looking ahead perhaps 38 minutes to having their hands on some silverware. And look at key players for those. Kelly's first influence on the game was the run and the pass. So I think there's lots of things going on for
goal.
Yeah, that led to the goal. So I think genius waits for no man in terms of, you know, we'd be up here, Jesus, saying we were almost saying to each other, Tony Kelly has to be involved hugely. First ball he gets, then 60 yards of a run hand pass to Davy Reedy. And Davy Reedy had a brilliant chance like that in the Munster Championship and shortened the hurl brilliantly and took it. But again, it was like a canyon of space in terms of how he was allowed run right down the middle, you know.
There you can see the Clare players still out. I think that's about 4 minutes that they've been out waiting for Cork. And there you go, to a huge roar from Semple Stadium. A few jeers, I think they may be from the fans wearing the yellow watching this one. Let's head back. The second half is finally about to get underway. It's back to Brendan and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. An extended half-time break for Cork. We estimated it was over 19 minutes. But at the end of that long break, no change for Cork, no change for Clare. Clare's 2-11, by the way, 2-7 from play, just 4 from frees. Cork's 1-10, 1-5 from play. Second half is underway. Peter Duggan. Straight for his right corner back, Sean O'Donoghue. Sending a good diagonal ball over towards Shane Kingston. Jack Brown. Daniel Carney was fouling. I think Jack was doing a bit of holding as well.
A little bit. When we talk about getting physical with Cork down their forward, this is what we're talking about, Marty. Little arm over the shoulder and Jack Brown, all right, but endeavour to try to get to the ball all the time, you know, and that's really the challenge now for Cork in this second half. Can they make that ball stick between the 45 and 65 and get it inside to the danger men?
It's a swirling breeze here in Semple Stadium, not really favouring anybody. The flags down at the town end sometimes blow from left to right, sometimes they're quite still. Peter Duggan, who practiced an awful lot of the frees before the game started. Just this one to the right and wide. Disappointment for him on this occasion.
Again, Anthony Nash looking out on a congested half-forward line. Clare now splitting their men. No place for Cork to run.
Anthony Nash straight for his Shane O'Donnell. He wasn't quite expecting it. Back to Nash. He'll go down the middle channel for his Christy Joyce. Going over for his own Cadigan. Daniel Carney. Half blocked. Shane O'More, he wasn't quite expecting it. Neither was Conor Laha. David Reedy to Peter Duggan. Just bobbled out of his hands. As Cork go back into the attack here. Seamus Harnedy getting by Patrick O'Connor easily. He's going to pull the trigger. It was a touch by the goalkeeper. Comes back out for his Patrick Horgan. Clare defending. Back there in numbers. David McInerney is there. Donald Toohey advises McInerney that there was a player available outside. And it's delivered long and very high. Down towards John Conlon. Ball breaks. There's Colm Spillane. Teacher in St. Coleman's in Fermoy. Laying it off. There's his wingman. That's Mark Coleman. What a spectacular point he scored in the first half. Owen Cadigan. International rules footballer for Ireland in Australia last November. Opposite number 6, Conor Cleary. Ball rebounds into the pathway of Dara Fitzgibbon. Steadies. Shoots. Ah, fantastic. Never in any doubt. He is just a wonderful hurler, Dara Fitzgibbon, all the way from Charleville.
Yeah, and he got on this ball. He just floated it towards the left-hand post and went over the bar.
Colm Galvin gets the puck out straight from his goalkeeper, Sean O'Donoghue. We were talking gloriously during the week about Sean in Cork, and I can see why. Patrick Horgan turns onto that left-hand side again. What a response. His 7-pointed again.
Yeah, Cork are starting to play through that 45 and 65 of the Clare defence. You can't let that happen. If you're a Clare, you have to bunch that section of the pitch. Any ball delivered in there to the pull-forward line is always going to be a threat. See Donald Toohey saved there. Stood up really, really strong to Harnedy.
4 points between the teams at the break. 38 minutes, 30 seconds gone into the second half. That's 3.5 minutes. It's just 1 point. And Cork are going through a period of dominance. Long ball up towards Seamus Harnedy. Gone back to gather it is Jack Brown. pressure on him. Sends it straight down the middle. Tony Kelly. Once again, Sean O'Donoghue scoops it away. Podge Collins. Shane O'Donnell's gone inside. Podge goes for the score, but it's gone to the left and wide.
Already, Marty, I just see the way Colm Spillane is now marking John Conlon. Conlon likes to stand beside the defender, use his strength. Spillane is standing off him and coming from behind him to break the ball out in front, and he's getting way more joy now in this second half.
Took out his aim at Dara Fitzgibbon. Shane Kingston says, it's yours. Dara Fitzgibbon heading towards goal, being pursued by Shane O'Morey. Still Fitzgibbon, and that's gone out for a 65. The Clare players are protesting with the umpire, but the decision is a 65. Let's look at it here again, Brendan.
Again, legs from Fitzgibbon. You can see McInerney coming in off the left of the shot there, and it had come off his leg all right and out for a 65. They're having a chat inside again, both the umpires. Clare are absolutely adamant, obviously, as you'd expect, that the ball was wide.
Conversations continue.
The umpire's point of view, I think, is that it touched the Cork player after it gone out for a 65.
Two Davids are down there, the umpires, David Hennessy and David Clune.
Decision stands.
Decision stands, it's going to be a 65.
We'll get another look here. Came off the Clare players, came off Fitzgibbon's foot. It's a fraction maybe on the edge of the whitewash, but look, a 65 I think is, for me, it was a 65, Marty.
My instinct is that there was a 65, Brendan.
From a Clare fella's point of view.
Yeah, I think it was 65. Patrick Horgan taking the controversial 65 and scoring his 8th point of the game. Wonderful performance again by Patrick Horgan from frees and from dead balls, but his couple of points from play, I have to say, have been immense.
Yeah, he's just worked the entrance fee, to be fair, but that's been Cork's problem, getting into him, and Clare have found out again.
Quick ball up towards Shane O'Donnell. The referee blows the whistle, spotting that there was an infringement.
Colm Spillane is the guy pulling on John Conlon there. Again, it is going to be a bit of a battle of strength, but Spillane wants to turn it into a battle of speed. And he's been the one that James McGrath spotted.
Fire in the Cork bellies, and their response to Peter Brown, who's taken this free, to his goal, have to say was very, very impressive, because they scored a goal and a point in response to the Clare second goal, and they've come out in this second half really determined. 2 points between the teams. Breaking ball picked up by Conor Lahan. Turns, shoots and scores. Middleton man gets his name on the score sheet for the very first time.
You can see it here, yeah, he was on the ball. It could have been a lot worse actually for Clare, only for somebody got a stick on it and broke it just slightly off the hand's pace there as he was going in. But again, the conundrum for both goalies now is, what am I going to do with the puck out? Possession is key.
Kick out from Donald Toohey. Oh, what a block down. Great block down by Conor Lahan. And Jamie Shanahan is back there to recover. Just the right thing. Goes for distance. Ball knocked away. Christopher Joyce gets a touch. Tony Kelly is there to try and scoop it up. Kelly looks around. Turns inside. Cathal Malone is in around the edge of the square on March. He's not now, as Conor Cleary drops it in. Shane O'Donnell is in there. Anthony Nash stands guard, sends it out for Sean O'Donoghue, getting away from Podge Collins, full of energy. Good play by the cornerback. Over far is Dara Fitzgibbon. Straight ball down the middle. Patrick Horgan coming out to gather it, trying to get past Shane O'Morey. He was fouled, and that is a free in. The Munster champions are showing why they are the Munster champions.
Yeah, some ball in front of Patrick Horgan. He knew the defenders were coming back against him, Shane O'Morey. Then he ducks his head in because he knows there's no place else to go, and wins the free. But when you're talking about leadership and Cork Remember, just 3 or 4 minutes before half-time, they were on the ropes, scored 1-1, and now suddenly very, very much back in the hunt. And the likes of Patrick Horgan's effort like that is seriously helping them.
This to level the match for the 5th occasion. Swirling breeze, light breeze into Patrick Horgan's face. Follow through is good. Slither went all the way, straight over the bar. 9 points for Patrick Horgan. 4 points down at the break, 9.5 minutes into the second half. The sides are level. It's a really impressive recovery by Cork. Donald Tuohy goes for distance, but it goes out over the sideline. And the momentum right now, even the puck outs going out over the sideline, the momentum is swinging towards Cork.
It does. Every little thing adds into your belief structure now at this stage, and hitting puck outs out over the line like that, you know, you need to put it down on top of Peter Duggan. He's well able to win primary possession, just put it within 5 yards of him.
Sean O'Donoghue blocked by Peter Duggan. Another sideline ball for Cork. It's going to be taken by Bill Cooper. The panel of the Cork senior hurling team since 2012, now 29 years of age. Has been scoring freely in the Munster Championship campaign so far with 7 points. Luke Meade, who scored a cracking goal. And Cork are showing their mettle and their self-belief.
Yeah, and again, Luke Meade showed a fantastic touch there before he turned to take on Malone. Then he dips in the head then. Malone's just left arm over the shoulder. It's a free, it's a pull back, and another good opportunity for Patrick Horgan to put Cork ahead.
A little bit of concern for the Clare management team and Jerry O'Connor. As I mentioned, since the start of this second half, the momentum seems to have swung to the banks of the Lee.
It has. And winning Munster finals, Marty, is as much about how you deal with adversity as it is how you deal with it when you're winning by 6 or 7 points. Now Clare are going to have to deal with adversity.
Patrick Horgan. It's tailing to the left and wide. 5th wide of the match for Cork. Aiming for Tony Kelly. Christopher Joyce there. So too is Conor Lahan. Somehow Tony Kelly gets it. He's fouled in the process, and it's a free for Clare.
Yeah, much better from Tony Kelly. I think they should play more puck outs there on top of him just to bring him into the game. You see, when he's driving forward like that, Carney's very, very hard to stop him, and wins a good free, and one that Clare needed.
He scored 2-11 in the first half. We've 12 minutes into the second half, and Clare have only managed 1 point so far, and that's from a free. And once again, it's Peter Duggan. Now on a personal tally of a goal and 6 points. And that ball is wide.
Yeah, the lift was wrong from Peter Duggan there. Just didn't get it up to the appropriate height. To get a clean strike on it, he was chasing it.
Long puck out again from Anthony Nash. Shane Kingston went up into the clouds. Ball comes down for Daniel Carney. Picked up here by Seamus Harnedy. And Harnedy is a captain, a true leader, under severe pressure, and still managed to produce one of the most sparkling scores in this Munster final.
Yeah, and he moved in field even just to get the angle that little bit better. You see the ball is contested in the air. It's Luke Meade who took the spin there, but it just shows the endeavour, Marty, of both players, that when that ball's in the air, your own safety doesn't make any difference. You just have to get it in your hand for your county. 12
minutes into the second half, Cork have scored 6 points. Great catch by Peter Duggan, trying to lay it off. Where is John Conlon? Gone back is Colm Spillane, but the referee is giving a free to Clare. It seemed a little bit harsh. Brendan, was it?
Yeah, just a pullback, I would take it. That when Duggan gets the ball and comes down, Cadigan is holding him, and he just let the play flow to see could he get it inside to Conlon. He couldn't. He just called it back. But again, it's that option that Clare had, Marty, is the important thing, that a ball down top of Peter Duggan, You know, he's a great chance of catching. He's a great outlet to have as a goalkeeper looking down the pitch to see him there.
And to be fair, when you look at the replay there, Peter was being fouled. And Peter Duggan, very important, this free now. Here he comes. That's the second one he's missed. That will not help his confidence. He's latched on to make a recovery, sending it back from a difficult angle, and that is wide.
Yeah, I think they call it the yips, is it, in putting. I think Peter Duggan's got that. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt with a poor lift the last time. There's nothing wrong there, only just the pressure of this occasion now.
They're introducing a substitute. Jason McCarthy from Aina Kilnamona is coming on for Cathal Malone. So change in midfield for Clare. Jack Brown. Colm Galvin. Aiming for John Conlon, but Sean O'Donoghue is doing a really good job. Acting not just as cornerback, but a sweeper as well. Dara Fitzgibbon, fantastic. Second point of the match for the Charleville man. Scored 8 points in the journey to this Munster final. He's now scored 2 cracking ones that will be memorable for a long time.
Yeah, fantastic score there. Fitzgibbon started it into the breeze and it just tailed back in lovely.
Cork are showing their class. Luke Meade coming forward. Plenty of Clare defenders there. Nice little pick up by Tony Kelly. Clare now need to respond. Sending it low down towards David Reedy. Gathers it. Looking around, see who's available. Good ball over towards Podge Collins. Podge will duck inside. Getting away from the attentions of Sean O'Donoghue. Still Podge about to pull the trigger. There are plenty of red jerseys there. Still Mark Coleman comes out first. Peter Duggan bubbles out of his grasp. David Reedy comes across and floats this over the bar for his second point of the match. Personal tally of a goal and 2 points for the man from Ennis.
Yeah, the Cork stranded defence a lot better in this half than it was in the first half. You can see the half-back line getting back on it.
Quick puck out from Anthony Nash was aimed at Conor Lahan. Shayna Morey copped on just a little bit late, but good recovery by Morey. Comes in first Colm Galvin, who lets fly. It's going well wide of the target.
Yeah, it's very, very wide there, wild from Colm Galvin. You can see John Conlon side the edge of the square, putting his hands up saying, come on, just give me one ball in again. Needs to get into the game now. Clare need to get Conlon in the game again.
Short puck out first, Christopher Joyce from Anthony Nash. Shane Kingston. Battling with David McInerney. Conor Cleary. There's McCarthy, Jason McCarthy. Christopher Joyce is there for Cork. Owen Cadigan has just arrived. Scooping it out is Daniel Carney. Podge Collins seems to have it. Podge on the ground, somehow managed to get up, no free given. Comes out for his Mark Coleman. Tenacious play by both teams. Hand pass given for his Carney. Carney gets it a little bit further and Cork come away with it. Ball is aimed at the Glen Rover star. Patrick Horgan gets away on this occasion from David McInerney, and Patrick Horgan with his 10th point of the game. And each of the points have been invaluable, but the ones from play, I keep saying it, sheer class.
Clare have gone with a quick puck out now and they're on the attack again.
Ball is aimed down towards John Conlon. Sean O'Donoghue is there. John Conlon coming in, trying to scoop it out. Battling with Shane O'Donnell, lending assistance. Podge Collins waits. Ball comes as far as Mark Coleman. This is a much better second half performance by Cork. Again, the diagonal ball, but it carries too much strength and energy. Sideline ball for Clare.
But you're right, Martin, that last passage of play that led to Patrick Horgan getting the point, you know, that hurling over on that side of the pitch, it was tenacious tackling, nobody fouling, and then suddenly it opens up and the ball gets in front of Patrick Horgan. And all day long, in fairness to him, he gets at his wrists. He's so hard to mark. He throws the ball away from you as defenders. He strikes it off the back foot and over the bar more often than not.
Great sideline cut by David McInerney. It's going to hop out over the sideline. Sideline ball again for Cork. No doubt about it, Brendan. If Clare are going to get back into this game, they need to feed John Conlon a lot more, because in the second half we now have what? We're on the 53rd, 54th minute, almost 20 minutes gone. He hardly has touched the ball.
No, he hasn't. I see Conor McGrath's down on the sideline there now. He's going to come on, a good stick man, like very accurate when he goes to distribute the ball. So you can only presume that's the reason he's going in there, to try to put more score in threat.
Cork have scored 8 times in this second half. Clare only twice. Colin Galvin, perhaps to try and change that statistic, just over the crossbar. Third point of the match for Clare in the second half. First for Colin Galvin.
Yeah, Galvin judged the breeze perfectly there, started it a couple of yards outside that right-hand post, as you see there, and the wind just drifted the ball in.
Change in the Clare attack. Shane O'Donnell going off. Conor McGrath is on. Tuck out from Anthony Nash. Over towards Conor Lahan. Picked up by Colin Galvin. Good call from Conor McGrath. Just introduced. But there is no danger there from a Cork perspective. Well wide.
Again, it's very, very wild from Conor McGrath. I think the reason he's put in there, right, he can shoot from long range, but try to get balls in front of John Conlon, get him back in the game again, because he's certainly a threat, but he's been starved of possession.
Ball is just outside the Clare 45. Good work here by Shane Kingston. Looks around, nobody in around the house, and the referee felt that the Cork player was taking too much out of it, so it's a free for Clare.
You see Colin Galvin does really well, just keeping the hurley in there, and then your half forward comes back, Conor McGrath, to finish the job.
Free taken by Donald Toohey. Conor McGrath, number 25 on his back, hits this. This is more like it. Much, much better. Just introduced for Shane O'Donnell. He gets his first point in this Munster final.
Mark Coleman just missed the touch there, and Conor McGrath got the first one we call a sighter. He got used to the breeze. No doubt the second chance he got.
Conor Cleary to the other Conor McGrath. All-Star hurler 2013. Stepped out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Cork. 6 times they've been level in this Munster final. We were treated to a Mark Coleman special in the first half. This is way too far out, doesn't really quite connect this time. Gets the return pass from Bill Cooper. Jamie Callahan is calling for it. Sends it over towards Conor Lahan. Oh, beautiful stick work. The wrists, the finish just so disappointing.
Yeah, I'd be biased, Marty, but it's a pity that didn't go over the bar. The skill of Conor Lahan to take that down, but unfortunately the finish for a man of his standards was poor.
The wrist work was good up to the point of trying to get that point. Oh, great catch, Peter Duggan. Needs a bit of assistance. Great block down on Callaghan. The rebound comes to Peter Duggan, and that is gone to the left and right.
Yeah, again, Peter Duggan is that threat in the air. More than Conor Lahan a couple of seconds previous. Should be caught in them ones.
Anthony Nash trying to seek and find Dara Fitzgibbon. Conor Cleary staying manfully with him. Ball inside. Clare are exposed here. There's an opportunity for the captain. Here's Harnedy, pulls the trigger, back of the net. Seamus Harnedy. Wonderful goal. The Clare defence were asleep as the Cork attack created this wonderful opportunity, and no better man to find the back of the Clare net than the Cork captain.
Yeah, Bill Cooper ghosted in around. Tony Kelly just didn't spot him in time and couldn't get back, and Harney's never going to miss from there.
Now Clare, what exactly are you made of after a wonderful first half? Podge Collins responds with a point. A badly needed point from the Clare challengers.
Yeah, the way the style of this game has gone, you would be surprised if Clare went away. It's been a real cracker. Podge Collins, a fantastic score again, right out on the sideline. and one that Clare badly needed, as we said, to steady the ship.
More changes coming from the Cork perspective. Robbie O'Flynn, who's a really fine talent, and the player that's going off is Shane Kingston. Darragh Fitzgibbon. As Cork tried to change their attack a little bit, well surrounded, and still Fitzgibbon managed to find Daniel Carney. Steps away from the challenge, uses the short grip, and raises yet another point for the Munster champions. His second point of the game.
A great step. Just watch it here. He goes off his left foot onto his right, catches the Clare defender, and a great score from Daniel Carney.
Clare make further changes as well. This is David Fitzgerald is coming on, and coming off is Jamie Shanahan. Todd Collins latching onto the loose ball. Easy for Anthony Nash. And in time to seek and find Mark Coleman. Down towards Conor Lahan. Chig to the right. Shane Amori putting him out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Clare.
It's a warning shot as well for Clare there, Marty, because Bill Cooper was gone away from Colin Galvin as well. If he could only have looked up and he was in like he was for the goal, so Colin Galvin is going to have to be very aware and make sure, I suppose, he's got the gas in the tank to follow him, which is the more important thing.
10 minutes left in this Munster hurling final. It's like a game of two halves. I know it's a cliche, but it's very much Clare in the first half, Cork in the second. Colin Spillane gives it plenty of air, but a little bit too much. Sideline ball for Clare. David McInerney coming across to take this sideline cut.
And Clare supporters now trying to get up with 10 minutes left. Their team need him, Marty.
Little touch by Podge Collins. Couldn't keep it in. Been very impressed with Sean O'Donoghue, Brendan. He's really impressed me in the second half.
He has, yeah. He's a very sticky cornerback, Marty, you know, and Podge has, you know, got his fair share of scores in there, but against a lesser defender, he'd have done an awful lot more damage. I must say I'm impressed as well with Colin Spillane. He's been really good on John Conlon inside. He's played him a little bit different. He hasn't gone as touch tight, and he's always trying to get out in front. It's been a bit of a problem for John Conlon trying to get on the ball.
Sideline cut once again. Good one from Mark Coleman. Conor Cleary is under a little bit of pressure from Seamus Harnedy. David McInerney out for his captain Patrick O'Connor. Over towards David Reedy. Conor McGrath chasing after this. Thought about pulling the brakes, and another great block down by Owen Cadigan. That's not the first time he's done it. John Conlon trying to battle there with Owen Cadigan, and the referee gives the free to Cork. Look at the passion from Owen Cadigan.
The Clare mentors are down there saying that Owen Cadigan, you see a black from Conor McGrath, you shouldn't as a forward be trying to shoot like that off the back foot, defender so close to you. You see when Cadigan comes in, then the Clare mentors are arguing that he had left the ball between his legs. It's like what we saw in the first half with the Clare cornerback. Wasn't punished, free out.
Dara Corey from Tulla is on, and the player that's going off is David Reedy. Anthony Nash with the free. Great catch. Oh, Seamus Harnedy again. Wonderful. Brilliant. Goal and 3 points he scored, and each and every one of them a little bit different and unique.
Yeah, I could see him there up ahead of everybody, just as every sinew of his body reaching to catch it. Then he comes down a little step. No, that's not the right time to hit. Here's a pocket of space, and over she goes.
Cork introduce Micheál Cahalane from the Bandon Club. Ball goes straight down towards Colin Galvin. And they're coming again, Cork, and they're looking so strong now. This is class. This is going to Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's one for Dickie Murphy and his team to have a look at down beside us. But again, you know, there shouldn't really be much doubt on that.
Well, the referee seems to have overruled it, and we continue on. Here comes Clare now with an opportunity under severe pressure. Ball comes back out first, Conor McGrath. McGrath looks around. Good ball inside. Opportunity here. They're queuing up. It's Tony Kelly taking, great defending. It's Tony Kelly again, trying to create the space, and with the short grip is happy to just tap it over the bar.
Yeah, good score from Tony Kelly there when the goal wasn't on. Did the sensible thing. You see the block from Mark Coleman coming in there. It's too congested in there. There's the brick flick over the bar.
Puck out from Anthony Nash, dropping down into the Clare half of the field again. Conor Cleary is there. Shayna Morey is available, but Cork are chasing everything. Morey under pressure. There was Conor Cleary. John Conlon coming out first, the 40 now to try and gather possession. Comes as far as Mark Coleman, who lets fly from the middle of the field. Fantastic play, Mark Coleman. Look at this, for a score and a half.
I think it's fair to say, Mark, the defending Munster champions are kicking for home now. Fantastic score again, just eased it off the right, curled in beautifully in the cross breeze that's there. It's a fantastic young hurler, that man there.
Lorcan McLaughlin is coming on for Daniel Carney. What a second half performance by Cork. The Clare aren't finished yet. Conor McGrath, Ferris Podge Collins has to go for goal here. Hits a shot, and it's gone over the bar. Clare stay alive. Still time. But Cork have been masterful in this second half.
They've been really good, but Clare still have a good interest in the fight, and they're getting in like that. Todd should be putting the ball down around Anthony Nash's feet there.
3 points between the teams. On the watch, 4 minutes left. Cork looked the sharper in this second half. Ball inside for Seamus Harnedy. Turning. Going for the score. Off his left shoulder and putting it over the bar. As John Conlon was almost unstoppable in the first half, Seamus Harnedy has upped the gear up to the highest level possible, and he too looks to be heading for a Man of the Match award.
He is, and the composure he's shown in the dying minutes of Munster final, just to wait for the right opportunity, has been the key.
John Conlon responding, getting away on this occasion just momentarily, and that's going to be a free in for a little bit of jersey pulling.
Yeah, you can see Conlon there. That's his strength when the ball comes down like that on top of him. I'm surprised Clare hadn't moved him out onto the 65 instead of Peter Duggan to try to win more puck outs and cause more hassle. But this will keep Clare obviously very much in touch. In one break of a ball, Podge gets in, or Conor McGrath. That's how we enjoy this game so much.
Peter Duggan takes the point wisely. Personal tally for him of a goal and 7 points. And it's back to just 3 points between the teams. As Clare make another change. Coming on is Ian Galvin, and Conor Cleary is the player that makes way. Ian Galvin, of course, scored the crucial goal against Tipperary. The puck out comes as far as Bill Cooper. He scored in every game in the championship, and that record is maintained. Good score.
Great take, great puck out. Bill Cooper drop a concentration and Clare point.
4 points again between the teams. As Clare try and throw everything into the attack. Damien Carlisle laying it back for Anthony Nash, who can look around at the global picture and see who's available. Shayna Morey battling hard. Still, Conor Lahan gets as far as Patrick Horgan. He's fouled unequivocally, and that is a free in for Cork.
David McInerney's beating the hurley off the ground, but you can see his left hand coming in. Patrick Horgan just dips the head down, and it's just a free, and that's that. It's about the third free that Patrick Horgan has got in that fashion. As a defender, Marty, if you lock your feet in the ground like that, you need to go with the attacker. Your feet need to go in the direction he's going. The very minute your feet go the wrong way there, it's just a free all day long. This could be his 11th point of the game.
Patrick Horgan. 10 against Clare, back 5 against Tipperary, 5 against Waterford, 1-11 against Limerick, and 11 again in a Munster final.
Mr. Consistency, no doubt about that.
10 out of 10. Ball again drops down towards John Conlon. Scooped away on this occasion by Bill Cooper. Conor McGrath goes chasing. David Fitzgerald available over this side, but Conor is busy trying to get away from the shackles of the Cork defence. Shane Morey sending it in, but Shane knows by his, well, at least I know by his body language, that that was well wide.
It's a bit of a heartbreaker when your wing back comes up and shoots it wide like that. You can see Anthony Nash now is just trying to take the sting out of the game as they click into the 70 minutes being up.
3 minutes of additional time at least going to be added on this Munster final. Knocked away by Clare Hurley. That's going to be a line ball for Cork. They have been unbeaten in this Munster Championship campaign. Clare lost their first game in Páirc Uí Chaoimh to Cork. They were full of confidence, but John Myler has developed and shaped this team nicely, continued on the good work of Kieran Kingston when he was manager last year.
He hasn't. I think, Marty, we're all due coming into this saying that Clare had the momentum now. I just think in the last 5 minutes Cork put in to put Waterford to sleep to get to this Munster final. They showed a maturity, I suppose, that day that we had all discounted away from them. Here's Mark Coleman, might put the icing on the cake here.
Cuts it in. It's curling. It's curling. Donald Toohey is underneath it. And he has the time to deliver long. Up towards John Conlon. Christopher Joyce staying with him, but it's an easy ball for Owen Cadigan. The Douglas man has performed really well, particularly in the second half. Clare chase and Harris not giving up. Jason McCarthy working hard. The clock ticking beyond the 71st minute. Over towards Conor McGrath, having to turn, just knocked away. Nice wrist work by Damien Cahalan. Shane Morey coming across, but the referee had spotted an infringement, and that is a free for Cork.
David McInerney played the hurley of Patrick Horgan and let the ball slip through. Good referee in there from James McGrath to spot it. See the ball coming up along the line. McInerney's caught. It just looked like he gave the hurley a flick.
2 in a row for Cork. Looks almost certain now, and fully deserved, considering the second half performance when Clare really put it up to the Munster champions. But the Rebels have really shown their class in the second half, and Patrick Horgan can afford that one to go well wide. He scored 11 times already. Puck out is a short one, or reasonably short, far as David Fitzgerald. The more accurate would be a better word as he goes forward. Still David Fitzgerald from Heineken Lamona not giving up. Coming through, there's a chance here. Shot, back of the net. Good score, Ian Galvin. For the second time, he rattles the back of the net in this Munster Championship and gives Clare just a little bit of hope. But the clock at this stage seems to be against the Bannermen.
It was a great finish from Galvin. Tight angle there. Fired in over the head of Nash. Nothing you could do about those ones.
Another substitute coming on for Cork. Dean Brosnan going to be given a chance to play in this Munster Championship, as Lorcan McLaughlin seems to have picked up an injury, and so a blood substitution there for Cork. 73 minutes.
Puck out is really vital all of a sudden, Marty.
It's left up to James McGrath now. Puck out comes first, Shane Morey can't keep it in. Sideline ball for Cork. In fact, the referee, James McGrath, has overruled the linesman and he's given the ball to Clare.
He has. He might change his mind here when he has the conflab with the linesman, and they have. There's the linesman. He is well positioned to see it.
The linesman is correct. Sideline ball for Cork.
Now they're coming over saying, put this dead. Because remember a certain All-Ireland semi-final one day, or an Ireland final, when they came from the corner flag up the pitch, and Clare got the equaliser, and there she goes.
Donald O'Donovan, the hero. In towards the corner they go. Patrick O'Connor, far as Donald Toohey. The clock ticks towards the 74th minute. Possession now crucial. Mark Coleman laying it back. First Christopher Joyce. And the Piercing man for the north side of Cork City drives it long. The Cork fans are waiting patiently for that final whistle. Seamus Harnedy is the captain. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and Cork are Munster champions back-to-back for the first time since the start of this century, with an awesome second-half performance that Clare really had no answer to. Clare gave it everything in the first half. They had a 4-point advantage, but John Myler and Cork came out in the second half, and they were simply awesome.
They were, and considering the wave of pressure they were under in the first half, when Clare inside line looked like they were going to run absolute wreck. They showed great composure. Colm Spillane dealt with John Conlon, and then around the middle of the field they got a grip. But Harnedy and Horgan, Marty, whenever they're on your team, like you bust yourself to get the ball in, because you know when they get it in their hand something special is going to happen, and they were the difference today.
Cork celebrating rightly so. They are Munster champions from the 54th occasion in their history. This is the full-time score. Clare 3 goals, 19 points. Cork 2 goals and 24. A game of 2 halves I mentioned earlier, but it's probably accurate and true, because Clare looked to be really impressive in the first half, but the second half, my word, the champions.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest disappointing thing, I think, for Clare coming in. You'd have said they had a grudge, they'd had more hunger, they'd want to win it more than the Cork did, but they just drifted through that middle part of the second half of the game when Cork put it up to them. And the goal in the finish, maybe, you know, it took a bit of the gloss off it for them, but at the same time, you know, Cork are deserving Munster champions. They march on now to the All-Ireland semi-final, and who's to say where it can go for this Cork team, the way they're playing.
And when you think of Colm Spillane and Sean O'Donoghue and the way they came to grips with John Conlon, because John Conlon was really unstoppable with 5 first-half points.
He was going really well, but I think Cork, to be fair to them, they cut out the supply as well, so the work rate from Dara Fitzgibbon, Bill Cooper, Daniel Carney around that middle third of the pitch really helped, you know. And I suppose if you're an inside defender, Marty, as I know only too well, if the ball is coming in anyway right, the forwards at this level will go to town. When the second half they just cut off that supply, and you saw the difference. Spillane was getting out in front, O'Donoghue the same way, was trying to keep the shackles on Podge, but overall Cork were just stronger when push came to shove, Marty.
Yeah, and I think you're dead on there. I mean, Shane Kingston was causing trouble momentarily at different times, and certainly might be disappointed taking off. But Luke Meade's goal, the response, Brendan, that Cork gave to Clare's second goal, when Peter Duggan struck the back of the net, Luke Meade's goal brought Cork back to life again, didn't it?
Yeah, well, there was an inference coming into the game, Marty, was that if you played the game at your tempo, not Cork, and stopped them tip-tapping the ball around the place, you'd beat them. Now, Clare were doing that in the first half, but the second half, Cork stood up and said, right, we're a changed team. Even the last line ball we spoke about, Patrick Horgan, and game management, game control, they know what they're doing, they have a great composure, put the ball into the corner and make Clare score from the corner flag. So, you know, their game management, I say, is an awful lot stronger now, and for me they're much better set now going into the All-Ireland series than they have been in previous years.
And it's the hardest won Munster Championship when you consider that Cork have beaten everybody. It is a great Munster Championship from a Cork perspective. I mean, they've beaten Clare twice, Limerick, Tipperary and Waterford. They are the worthy Munster champions with one of the most impressive Cork second half performances ever. Let's go from here in the commentary box back to Joanne.
And such brilliant scenes there are as well down on the pitch here in Semple Stadium. Thank you to Marty and to Brendan as well. Derek McGrath, a mirror image is what you referred to that second half of the first half.
Yeah, look, I think we were, you know, we were harsh enough on the Cork naivety in the first half in terms of how they set up. And we wondered what they were talking about at half-time, why they were so late on the pitch. But we'd have to give great kudos to John Myler, Fraggy and Don O'Mahony and the lads, the management team and players. Completely realigned their team. Christopher Joyce went to centre-back, Coleman to wing-back, Dara Fitzgibbon to centre-forward. You know, and the crucial thing, their attitude. The one last of the human freedoms, as Victor Frankl says, you know, their attitude, the way they went about their business in terms of the intensity levels they brought. You know, you can talk all about realigning the team, but ultimately they were up for the fight in the second half. So kudos to the management and players, thoroughly deserved, you know.
But Liam Sheedy, it must be a mixture of the two. Getting your setup right to match what happened in the opening half when Cork were struggling, and then to just to do exactly to Clare what Clare had done to them in the first half.
Yeah, I think they deserve great credit, you know, but I think the players on the pitch really grabbed a hold of it, you know. We would have been critical enough of I suppose, they were limp enough in that first half in terms of the way they attacked the game, and they really had a good chat, a long chat at half-time. But, you know, when Clare look back in this game, 1-7 to a point, if you take the 2 minutes before half-time, the 13 minutes after half-time, and that's the period ultimately where but when they needed leaders, Patrick Horgan, Darragh Fitzgibbon and Seamus Hannity stood up, and they stood tall, and that's why they won the match.
Isn't that a really good point? And given that Clare couldn't manage to get somebody to do the same for them when they looked like they might have a chance of coming back and the game was in the melting point again, but every time Cork needed somebody, one of those lads came to the fore.
Yeah, and different leaders, you know, emerging. We've always talked about Lehane, even when we're planning ourselves in Waterford, we always plan for Lehane and Harnedy, etc. But Darragh Fitzgibbon's emergence, and I think his relocation as well to centre forward in the second half, crucial. You know, I think Daniel Carney sat in with Bill Cooper then, and the goal came off the kind of interplay between Daniel Carney and Bill Cooper then. So, look, leaders all over the field, and even, you know, naively, I suppose, on my own behalf, you're looking in the first half, you're saying, Jesus, will Damien Cahalane last? You know, I was putting myself in the manager's shoes, Myler's shoes, I was saying, would we whip him after 20 minutes?
But he was being roasted.
But he settled brilliantly, you know, in fairness to him. Shane O'Donnell, his direct opponent, was taken off. You know, he settled. David Reedy, his next opponent, was taken off. And sometimes I said it's you know...
I would say on that point, Dodger, the quality of ball at the inside forward, like John Cannon was there. Eventually they'd ask him to go onto the 45 to try and win ball. I think they really, they changed, like Conor McGrath, Peter Doug, they got some ball outside that to me should have been back in. When they were on top, they should have sent more ball into John Conlon, and I think they'll have a huge regret in terms of how the game managed that second half.
But is one of the reasons for that not the fact that in the first half, all the breaks around the middle, all the rucks, almost all of them were being won by Clare. Yeah. It was the opposite in the second half.
Yeah, look, we highlighted before, and the importance of Luke Meade and Daniel Carney to that kind of feverish pitch that's out in the middle of the pitch. But for me, the key ingredient in the second half was Joyce's positioning, Christopher Joyce. He has a big presence about him, a big physical presence. You know, Mark Coleman, as I said, is more of a hurler. He solidified the backline by just staying central, as he has been in most of the games up to this. So for me, he was crucial in just knitting the whole backline together, and everyone else seemed to react to his positional sense. So, you know, kudos to everybody involved. As Liam said, you know, for Clare, it's not the end of the road either. You know, you have to understand, I think, just from our own dressing room the last 4 weeks, the last 6 weeks.
And here is Seamus Hannity. Yeah. What a key role he played as well. And there he goes. He raises the cup aloft. Cork are back-to-back Munster champions, receiving the cup from the Munster Council chairman, Jerry O'Sullivan there. What a role does Seamus Hannity play today?
Yeah, look, I mean, as I said, in that second half, he scored 1-3 from play. And like even... to me, the biggest play he had in that game was the catch he got from Anthony Nash's poke out just at the end of the second half. He caught the ball, he had the vision, he wasn't thinking Seamus Hannity, he was thinking Cork, to Luke Meade, and a goal. And that goal was the one that found it, because there were 8 points down coming up to half-time, and it looked like the wheels had come off. So I think when they really needed leadership, Seamus Hannity was outstanding, both at the end of that first half and especially in that second half with 1-3 of a personal tally.
Yeah, well, Liam Sheedy, Derek McGrath, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. So we do have a second provincial hurling final coming up for you here on the Sunday game. It is the Leinster hurling final between Kilkenny and the All-Ireland champions Galway. Michael will be along with a build-up to that very, very shortly. But here at Semple Stadium, Cork are back-to-back champions for the first time since 2006. From all of us here, bye-bye.
Centra. We are hurling.
This is Sarah.
I like to knit.
And this is Amy.
Pottery's my thing.
But when they come together, they do this. It's called roller derby. And you do this for Ireland?
Yeah.
So is there a ball?
No.
Goals?
No.
It's about speed?
Yeah.
So it's a race?
No.
It gets better when you bring great together. Air Broadband customers can now add a mobile plan with unlimited social and 15 gigs of data and unlimited calls and texts, all for just €10 a month and all on a 30-day contract. Air, let's make possible.
Forwards and backwards, up and down, this way and that way. The new Wilkinson Sword Intuition Fab, a revolutionary razor with unique bi-directional blades. So you can shave forwards and backwards effortlessly.
It's just 1 minute. Nico, it's just one raindrop. It's just
just 1/10 from pole position.
Just 1 second off first place.
No thanks. Come on, Nico, it's just one beer. I'm still driving.
Cookie people, cream people, crumbs people, clean people.